When you're setting up a home theater or a gaming nook, the biggest fear is ending up with a chair that looks amazing on the box but turns into a daily source of aches, or one that takes up half the room and still feels cramped. You want something that slides into your space without a marathon of assembly, stays comfortable after a marathon movie night, and actually feels worth the price tag you're about to drop. That's why I spent a few evenings actually putting the Seatcraft Apex recliner through the motions before I hit record. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, this isn't a just lookness piece. The Apex is marketed as a zero-gravity power recliner with a built-in headrest and lumbar support, wrapped in what the manufacturer calls Italian leather with a cool gel layer. In practice, that means you can press a single button and the seat tilts back until your back is almost parallel to the floor, while the headrest lifts and the lumbar pad inflates just enough to keep the lower spine snug. I tried it in 3 different scenarios: a 3-hour movie binge, a 90-minute gaming session, and a quick work-from-home break where I needed to hop onto a laptop. During the movie marathon, the zero-gravity tilt was the star. The recline angle hit about 150 degrees, so my feet were almost flat on the floor, which helped keep circulation moving. The cool gel layer under the leather stayed cool enough that I didn't feel the usual heat buildup you get with synthetic upholstery after a couple of hours. The powered headrest rose just enough to support the neck without forcing me to crane forward for the screen. That feeling of floating is what the zero-gravity claim is really about, and it works, but only if your theater screen is placed at the right height. If the TV is too low, you'll end up looking up at the ceiling while the chair is fully reclined, which defeats the whole comfort point. When I switched to a gaming session, the same button-controlled recline felt a bit too set and forget. I prefer a more incremental adjustment when I'm in the middle of a fast-paced shooter, so I had to manually nudge the recline lever a little after the initial zero-gravity position. The built-in lumbar support did a decent job of keeping my lower back from slouching, especially when I leaned forward to reach for the controller. The leather's texture gave the cockpit vibe I was after, but the surface is definitely more premium lounge than battle-ready, so you'll want to keep your hands clean. The gel layer can get sticky if you sweat a lot. For the work-from-home test, I placed a laptop on the side console that comes integrated with the recliner. The console is a clever little shelf with a few USB ports, so you can charge devices without crawling under the chair. It held my laptop steady, but the width of the console is just enough for a single device, which means if you need a second monitor or a stack of paperwork, you'll quickly run out of real estate. Still, the fact that the console folds flat when you're not using it keeps the floor space tidy, something you'll appreciate in a multi-purpose room. Now, let's talk about who this chair actually makes sense for. If you're an adult who spends a lot of time in a single spot, think home theater enthusiasts, console gamers, or anyone who binge-watches series on weekends, the Apex gives you a dedicated zone that feels almost like a small private theater. The power recline and the heated gel leather are features that you'll actually use day after day, not just once in a while. It's also a good fit if your living room or dedicated media room is on the smaller side. The footprint is tighter than a traditional sofa because the back folds down, and the integrated console means you don't need a side table. Conversely, if you're looking for a versatile office chair that you'll spin around all day, or if you have a family with kids who will treat the recliner as a playground, you might want to skip it. The power mechanisms are great for settled positions but can feel a bit heavy if you need to pivot quickly. Also, the leather, while marketed as Italian, is a synthetic blend with a gel coating. It does a solid job of looking upscale, but it's not as forgiving as fabric if you have pets that love to claw at upholstery. And because the seat is designed for fully grown adults, anyone under about 5 feet 5 inches may find the seat depth a tad deep, making it harder to get in and out without using the handhold lever. What about the value proposition? The price point sits in the mid-range for power recliners, and you're essentially paying for 3 things: the zero-gravity motor, the cool gel leather, and the built-in console. The motor feels smooth and quiet, no whirring that distracts during a movie, and it's backed by a standard warranty that covers the electronics for a couple of years. The real value shows up when you factor in